the time frame of proposing is scary. That's the truth.
The latest Bachelorette promo reveals more drama is on its way, plus a frontrunner makes a shocking revelation. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have to talk about this latest Bachelorette teaser, but before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Gabby Gonta and Avery Grooms. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
So this promo, you guys, is really intense following quite an intense episode. It feels like things are really heating up. I say we just dive right into this first clip because obviously we were left with quite the cliffhanger and they're giving us a little tease as to what we can expect next week.
Next week on The Bachelorette.
Not the goodbye I expected. It didn't feel right at all.
So not the goodbye she expected. We know she led into this conflict saying only one of them could stay. Gabby, who do you think is going home?
I don't know. This is a really tough one. Personally, I think either Bennett will go home or it'll be both of them somehow. You know, things unravel to the point where she just wants to send both of them home. But for her to say, you know, it doesn't feel right and she's sort of second guessing it, I don't know, because we haven't really seen her have great connections with either of these two. But, you know, maybe there's something there that she's regretting once she sends one of them home.
I totally agree with you that it could be either Bennett or possibly both. Maybe that's what she's having trouble with is when she actually sends them both home, possibly, but I don't know. It's not looking good for Bennett the way things ended. So it could either go one or two ways. I think it's either Bennett or both of them.
You know, it feels like it's going to be tough for Bennett to kind of bounce back from where we left off, but Noah isn't really standing down either. So I agree with you guys. This one is going to be tough, hard to predict. We will have to wait and see. Aside from that drama finally getting cleared up, looks like we're playing another game of Truth or Dare, this time with a lie detector, and it is revealing some shockers. Let's take a look.
Truth and honesty in a relationship is everything. Have you ever cheated on someone?
Yes. I hated today.
Why? Cheating's nothing I will tolerate.
So tough. I mean, Zach has kind of been a front runner. We saw them really have an intense connection developing in this last episode. But this is a huge deal breaker for a lot of people. What are your thoughts, Avery? Do you think he can, recover from owning up to this, blunder of his past?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I respect him for being honest. And just in this clip, we see it go from 0 to 100 so quick. Suddenly, Tayshia's like, I'm not messing with this. So it either could go one or two ways. They'll talk it out and they'll move forward, or this could probably really affect him. So I don't know. It's not looking good so far in this clip.
I agree. I think they took giant leaps forward in their relationship on their one-on-one this week. But I feel like if all of this is true, which is showing in this promo, that next week they're really going to take some steps backwards. I think same thing that you said, Avery, I am, proud of him for being honest. And, I mean, when you're hooked up to a lie detector test, it's kind of, they're going to know if you're lying. So at least he sort of owned up to it in that way. But at the same time, I think cheating is just something that Tayshia is not going to be able to deal with at all, because we know in her past relationship, her past marriage, that, she said herself that he struggled with infidelity. So I think if there's one thing that she, is looking out for as a red flag, it's going to be that.
I totally agree with you. I think that a lot of people firmly believe once a cheater, always a cheater. And that can be a really tough thing to overcome when you're already nervous, especially when you have so many amazing guys competing for you already. I feel like this is going to be definitely a pivotal week for Zach. And it's clear that Tayshia's maybe a little worried about his past.
Every time I talk to him, I uncover something that I'm just like, hold on a second.
So, I mean, we saw in this past episode, Zach has gone through some pretty difficult challenges in his life. He's obviously overcome them. He seems to be in a really great place. But it looks like Tayshia may be starting to get just a little nervous, especially with the cheating. What are your thoughts, Avery? Do you think he's still going to be one of our front runners by the end of this next episode?
Well, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because, like you said, he's gone through a lot and it looks like he's really overcame it. And he had to do this on TV. So he was super vulnerable and just really had to open up about serious things. And now he's hooked up to a lie detector and he's being honest, but I feel like it kind of backfired. So I don't know. I just enjoyed watching their date so much. Looks like it's going now downhill and I don't want it to. But at the same time, like we just said, cheating's no joke. And Tayshia's looking skeptical about this whole situation. So it's not looking good.
Based on that clip, I mean, that's tough. She's walking away. He looks upset and angry. So something definitely happened between the two of them. And I think, in this week's episode, he let out a lot. And she's always been asking for vulnerability from these guys. But just, one thing after another could be, and from multiple guys, in 1 week or in 1 day could just be like really emotionally draining on Tayshia to be, there for these guys while they're opening up to her. And it might become a lot. So I think that might be one thing that happens between her and Zach.
She's definitely in a difficult position. There's so many guys that are competing for her heart. Another one of our front runners, someone that we were totally rooting for. It looks like Brendan is maybe going to shake things up this week as well.
The time frame of proposing is scary. That's the truth.
So, I mean, right there, you can see the look on her face. She doesn't look too pleased with that statement. But not to put on my skeptic hat, which I have a hard time doing because I love the show, but I'm very real world when I watch this. I agree. I think the timeline, is a little tough. They're getting less time than, you even usually do in a process that is so, so fast. Is this like the kiss of death in Bachelor Land? You have to be ready to propose. Just wanting to be in a relationship, just wanting to commit, is typically not enough. Do you think Tayshia is not going to be here for this? What do you think, Avery?
I mean, like you said, he's not wrong. There's a lot of pressure on that situation to get engaged immediately after. And I don't think it means he doesn't like Tayshia, but the look on her face, I think she is just worried because clearly he is a front runner. So I think she's having kind of like second thoughts about that. But at the same time, I feel like they can talk this one out. He's just expressing how he feels about that because it is such a serious thing to rush. But at the same time, it's part of the show. But, once again, we're rooting for Brendan. And I feel like they could talk this one out and it's not going to go the way it seems in this clip.
I think her and Brendan's relationship is pretty strong at this point. So I feel like on one hand, everything could go right between them. And then maybe they're just not ready to propose by the end of this because it is really fast. Or, I mean, even this week we saw Tayshia getting really nervous wearing a wedding dress again. So maybe she's not, quite ready there yet. And they can talk it out and, get engaged or just end up together in the end, but prolong things a little bit more if that's what works for both of them. So I don't think this is going to be a deal breaker for her. I think they're really just everybody in the room on the show is feeling this right now, that it's just going really fast.
Totally. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he and her bonded over, they've both been divorced, right? Is that Brendan?
Yes.
So maybe, so maybe he's just having sort of a candid conversation with her about like, I've done this before. The thought of proposing before I'm 110,000% is a little daunting. And you know what? You're totally right. We're only seeing a small clip. She could be laughing in 3 seconds. We're just going to have to wait and see. Somebody we're going to clearly learn a lot more about this week. I wouldn't call him a front runner yet. He sort of had some big moments in this last episode. But it looks like Riley is suddenly coming to center stage. And also he may have some sort of a secret. Let's take a look at this next clip.
I have a little bit of explaining to do. She has no idea.
Oh my. What in the actual hell?
So I don't even really know what to make of this. I don't even really know what to ask you guys. I feel like I'm just shocked. I mean, what is your reaction to that moment, Gabby?
It is shocking. Like you said, we haven't seen much from Riley yet. And here he is like really upset and in his interview saying, what if she finds out the truth or something like that? So that's really deep and huge. I know during his, the art date this week, he really got vulnerable and showed us some more of his past and things going on. So he very well could have a secret that ruins things or makes things better, depending on what it is.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what it could be just because we haven't seen much from him. But he said he has a lot of explaining to do, and that kind of sounds like it's in a negative tone or he's hiding something. And then based off of Tayshia's reaction, it's just not looking good at all. But I wonder what it could possibly be because it definitely is not good.
Totally. I think this is a just confusing moment for a lot of us. Obviously, we are so excited to get to know Riley more. The other thing is this reaction moment of her standing, in the shadows, totally perplexed, could in theory be attached to literally any moment from the episode. So it'll be really interesting to see, is this information that Riley's going to disclose as dramatic as they're making it seem? Is this really her reaction? I feel like I don't even know him well enough to have like a prediction there, but I'm very curious to see how it plays out. This next clip is our guy Zach again, someone we do know pretty well. It looks like that cheating confession really might be doing him in. Let's see.
When you bring that into the equation, that makes it really real.
So I don't know. I feel sad. He's crying. I don't know what's going on. It feels like they were on such a good path. I really hope that whatever happens between them, we're able to see them bounce back. I kind of feel like for some reason I'm going back to Peter's season, his relationship with Victoria F. Not that they have any similarities, other than sometimes the lead and a contestant, can fight without the person being automatically sent home. Sometimes they'll be able to stick around for a while to duke it out until they have clarity. So I hope we don't say goodbye to him next week. Do you guys think if she ends on a negative note with Zach, that's it, he's out of there? Or do you think he's someone she'd be willing to, even if they end on a rough note, keep him around a little bit longer just to be sure? What do you think, Gabby?
I think knowing Tayshia, she'll want to keep him around longer to make sure, like you said, 100% sure that it's not going to work out between them and that she's not making a mistake with that. But at the same time, she has so many other guys who are just, unproblematic, no fighting going on, like pure bliss at this point, really getting to know each other, that she has to choose from. So, it's either way, she's in a win-win situation because if it doesn't work out with one of them, she has other options, obviously.
Yeah, I think she'll maybe keep him around for like the same reason I want him to stay. Like, I just want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He looks so sad and torn. But like we said, they're dealing with such intense topics that really are make it or break it moments in relationships. But at the same time, when we look at like who's left, he does have a stronger connection with her than some of the other guys. So I think he will stay, but there's going to be some bumps in the road.
Totally agree with you both. There's no question we're going to see Zach struggle this week. We're going to see Riley struggle this week. This next clip looks like Riley may even be thinking of going home. Let's take a look.
Is today the day I let myself go?
The drama continues.
So really, just hard to watch. I feel like I don't know him well enough to see him that upset. I'm so curious what could be going on. I really hope that he is the good guy that we've been, assuming he is. It'll be really interesting. We haven't seen somebody send themselves home. So I don't know. Do you guys think that's in the cards? What are your thoughts, Gabby?
I think if it is in the cards and he's considering going home and Tayshia, is really interested in him at this point, I think she'll be able to talk him through it because it's just such a hard situation, this Bachelor land scenario that they're in, which so many people are just not used to. And it can really like mess up your emotions and like really distort your reality about what you're thinking and feeling. So I think he might be able to stay if they work it out. But if not, then, it's just one step closer to Tayshia finding the man that she wants and obviously Riley finding love eventually. So it's all going to work out in the end.
Yeah, I just can't help but think what happened. I feel like I can't even speak on if they're going to work this out or not because I have no idea what's going on or what this possibly could be. He's like sitting on the floor crying with his head in his hands. Like this is really intense. It's almost like a family member died type of crying. Like it seems brutal. So I don't know if like an ex showed up or something, or I'm trying to think of the worst case scenario possible, but it's not looking good. I'm not sure how this one will end.
I know, truly crazy. I feel like this is one of the most intense promos we've seen in a while. Things are really getting intense. Obviously, we only have a handful of weeks left. We want Tayshia to find love. So I think we're just going to have to leave it off here. Wait until next week. We'll have to keep our eyes out for more predictions. We, of course, want to know what you guys are thinking. Do you have any idea, what's going on with Riley? Do you think Zach will be able to recover? Let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the incredible Gabby Gonta and Avery Grooms. You can check out all of our socials on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.